AI agents are becoming so much more prevalent in the market. So we thought it would be a great idea to get together a panel of Infosec and customer trust and security experts to talk about how AI agent is shaping their work. They're going to break down what's changing and how Infosec teams should be prepared. So let's get into it. For starters, you might be wondering, what are the current risk appetites out there right now for companies looking to adopt AI agent? We had Patrick from CircleCI give us a great answer for this. Patrick, take it away.
We have the resource constraints and we have to find those efficiencies. And this is, for me, it's such an obvious way for the really mundane, easy tasks. And so I think companies, and maybe again, I don't work at a highly regulated company, so I do see the differences when I'm dealing with our highly regulated customers. But I think so many companies are going to realize that there's only so much you can squeeze out of people. And if you don't want to add people, then you've got to find other ways. And this is just such an easy way to do it, particularly when you're not planning to use it with sensitive data or you're not potentially profiling people or whatever. If you're using it to write first drafts of text-based answers, at some point I think people are going to realize it's not that much more risky than storing, text in a contract management system with Docusign or whatever it is. If you trust the company you're doing business with, and there's always a little bit of like a leap of faith that they're going to do the security things they contractually promised they would. And I'm hoping that we'll get to a place, at least for the less sensitive use cases, where everyone realizes that.
The great thing about agentic AI is that it's going to be taking a lot of the busy work off your plate. So with all that extra time, I bet you're wondering, as an Infosec professional, what are the skills that I should be learning to be ready to grow? Well, Jodi from HireRight gave us an amazing answer for this.
So my team is a GRC team, and we build customer trust. One of the skills that is really important on my team is design-centric thinking, designing attestation specifically with a user experience in mind. So one of the things that I had shared when we initially met was the consideration between just thinking of any large third-party risk management team that goes through hundreds and hundreds of documents every single week from various vendors, whatever. If they get a questionnaire and the evidence is rogue random screenshot, for example, or, some type of 30-page white paper, you're going to lose their interest. They're not going to dig for the information that you're trying to give them, or they're not going to be able to either way. So what my team has really focused on is creating evidence that is visually digestible. It's designed with the reviewer in mind. And I think somebody had said, I can't remember, I think it was Patrick had said, sounds sort of like you're creating marketing materials. And the fact of the matter is, yeah, we're incredibly proud of the work that we've done and continue to do. And so we're designing it with the end user view in mind now.
But of course, there's more than graphic design when it comes to other skills Infosec teams should be learning. And Patricia from Docusign gave us some extra insight here.
With all kind of like the teams that really security ends up being, which are all of them. So definitely good communication skills that are able to think outside the box, and obviously that have some security experience. But that would be the main things. Once we have AI taking over the monotonous stuff. So that's the things definitely I'll be looking for.
Another great insight that came from this panel was all about leveraging AI data insights to make trust and security a more competitive advantage. Let's hear Patrick's take on this.
It's not something I guess I personally had ever thought of, but it totally resonated with me. And it's something I took back as an idea for I guess nominally I run our GRC team, but in reality, I have someone who actually knows what they're doing that's running the GRC team. And he loves selling this. This is like what he calls it. Our GRC is our competitive advantage. So we spend a lot of time tracking the metrics of what customers are looking at our trust center, what are documents they're looking, which ones are resonating more or less. And then we report those metrics out to the organization. And so when I went back to him, just said, like, hey, this is another thing that maybe we'll get more engagement, or like he thought that was a cool idea. So I appreciated that insight. I don't know. It just really resonated with me.
And last but not least, the question we're all wondering, how do we think Infosec teams and agentic AI software are really going to be interacting with each other going forward? Jodi gave a fantastic answer, so let's hear it.
The human is always responsible. You have a job to do. You have a responsibility to your clients. You have a responsibility to your company. And so if you're choosing to use a tool, you are ultimately responsible for the output of the tool. And that could be as simple as, working with the engineers that are developing the tool to make sure that the output is exactly as you'd expect and the functionality is as you'd expect, and data classification and handling and all that are exactly as you'd expect. And then, remembering that AI is a tool. And so AI is means to an end, but is not you. You are still responsible for your output, your job.
We loved getting insights from these InfoSec professionals, and if you want to see the full webinar, it's live on YouTube and on Conveyor's website. Go check it out. And stay tuned for episode 4, where there's more agentic AI insights in your future.